I'm Mariel Alfonso. I'm of Communication Arts and Marketing Management. So for today, I'll be talking to you about the Communication Arts program. So let me be straightforward by saying that Communication Arts entails a lot of hard work and effort. So you really have to invest a lot of your patience and your dedication towards the scores. And you have to love what you do for you to be able to succeed. So for the first set of majors, we took up a lot of introductory subjects such as Introduction to Film, Introduction to Broadcasting, and Introduction to Print. So in those subjects, you'll be exposed to a lot of history of the different kinds of media, not just around the world, but also specifically in the Philippines. In the next set of majors, we took an Introduction to Research subject, which was one of the most difficult subjects for me, but in the end, it paid off because what you learn in that subject will be used in your future subjects such as your thesis and your other reports. And so in that subject, we had to do a qualitative research on a certain topic. So for that, we had to do observations and interviews and review of related literature. And it was very difficult because you had to transcribe all the interviews and write down all your interview notes and gather a lot of materials for review of related literature and then gather them all into one report. But then as I said earlier, that subject will really matter when you do your thesis. So as you'll expect, communication arts involves a lot of writing. So we had around 3 major subjects devoted to that. We took up feature, article writing, and news writing, and as I mentioned earlier, writing for research. So when you take up those subjects, I really suggest that you go out of your way when you look for your sources. So most likely you'll be asked to interview people related to your topic. So I suggest that you really find the best people to interview, and if it takes a lot of effort to do so, then just go for it. For example, you have to ask for permission, you have to write a formal letter, you have to get the approval of your teacher for you to be able to interview your source. Then just go for it because it will pay off in the end and you'll have a really good and clean and nicely written article. So also for communication arts, we had a lot of computer work and laboratory work. For instance, for our publishing subject, we were taught Adobe InDesign and HTML. So we had to make our own websites and also learn how to lay out newspapers and magazines. That was really fun because you get to use a lot of your creativity combined with your technical skills. Another subject that involves a lot of computer work and laboratory work is video production. And honestly, video production was one of the most challenging subjects for me because aside from thinking of a concept and the story and the script, you also have to look for a location and you have to look for actors to be part of your video. And then, of course, when you're in the production stage, you have a lot of takes and you have to repeat a lot of scenes to make sure that you have the best shot and make sure that you didn't commit any errors. But then, it was really, really fun because you get to work with a lot of your friends. And also, of course, after you produce your video, you'll have to edit it. And I think that was the most time consuming because, for example, for a 3-minute video, it would take me around 1 whole day or 2 days, the whole weekend, to edit. But then it was really fun to watch the bloopers and to see your video come together. Next subjects I'd like to talk about are 2 of my favorite subjects ever. Those are radio production and television production. So for those subjects, you get to spend a lot of time in the TV lab and the radio lab. It's really fun because for me, it was my chance to bond with a lot of my communication arts blockmates. And as for the technical part, it wasn't really, really difficult as long as you practice. At first, you'll be nervous when you run a radio show or a TV show, but then as you practice, you get the hang of it, and eventually you'll want to do more and more. After taking up the core subjects of communication arts, you will be asked to choose your electives. And I highly suggest that you take electives that are connected to the thesis that you're planning to do. For example, my thesis group and I decided to do a short feature film So as for our electives, we chose screenplay writing. One of our thesis mates took that, and then my other thesis mate and I took up Masters of Film, documentary filmmaking, and also post-production. So those subjects really help a lot when you do your thesis. So once again, I suggest that you decide on the kind of thesis that you'll do early on, and then base your electives on that decision. And finally, for your thesis requirements, you're given a choice if you want to work alone, or if you want to work in pairs, or if you want to work in a group of 3. So the maximum number of members per thesis group is 3. So if you work alone, you have a choice of doing a photo essay, a children's story book, or a screenplay. And then if you want to work in pairs or in groups, you can do a feature film, a documentary, a series of music videos, or a pilot episode of a TV series. So all in all, communication arts is a very challenging course. It involves a lot of hard work, and you have to invest a lot of your time and patience. But then I think it's worth it because all the skills you'll develop in this program, such as your writing skills, your speaking skills, and your coordination skills, and even management skills, you can use all those things when you graduate. So no matter how difficult your majors get, you just have to remind yourself that it'll be all worth it in the end, and you just have to keep going and never give up. And as much as possible, try to enjoy what you're doing, because the moment you feel the passion for what you do, it certainly won't feel like work. So thank you, and I hope you learned at least a little something from it.